Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. I'm on my way. I got a question. Actually, I got 3 or 4. Can you explain to me how Tracking Confirm operates this service right here, the one that's got the receipt?
The electronic receipt or which one?
The one that you attach to it, the green and white one.
Oh, this one?
Uh,
This one goes with that one. This is just proof that you mailed it. This is proof that actually somebody received it.
okay, so I mailed a $340, 20-cent post office money order here on October 6th. And to the Department of Education, and they said that they called me today and said they didn't get it. So the only way that they could not get it is if it's either lost or somebody's engaging in illegal behavior, because this right here is the card that gets put in their P.O. box. They're not, the actual envelope is not put in their P.O. box, but the actual card is. They take the card to the counter, right? And then they're hand delivered the envelope, right?
Actually, it's this card that gets put into their box. Then they'll go.
Well, then why did they sign this one? because
you requested that signature.
Exactly. So
Right.
the point being is this: is I purchased this and I purchased this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was all filled out. This was attached and put on. This part was put on what, the letter, right?
Right.
Okay. So what do they get in their PO box in order for them to?
They get this in their PO box. This shows them, it has all the information. They come to the, just like you did here.
They come to the counter.
They come to the counter and they present this. Then we go and we get the package.
And so then you go and get the letter and hand it to them.
Right.
So how could something like this get lost?
I don't know.
Okay. So I got the track and confirm now. Do you have a piece of paper, ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write down the number. I'll show it to you, but I'm not gonna hand it to you. Okay. And can you check it to find out what's going on, and then I want to report it either lost or stolen.
Okay. Did you want to do, did you want to go ahead and do a tracking for the
Well,
money
obviously,
order?
yeah, that's the reason why the money order was put in the envelope that was put in the envelope that this was put on. Okay, it was all purchased on one receipt.
Okay, so you haven't gotten anything back?
I haven't got anything back from them, and they
How
called
long
me
has it been?
since the 6th,
The 6th?
and today's the 24th.
Okay. Let me go ahead and write that number down.
So,
Let's start there.
the point being is this: is that that's a lot of money.
Okay.
So what I'll do,
Just write me down the receipt.
I'm gonna write down the money order receipt number, the customer receipt number, and then the track and confirm.
Just go ahead and write this.
Well, this is what's missing, okay?
Right.
The whole envelope is missing.
Okay.
But this is what's the value right here.
Put the number of that, write it down, and I'll go check on it and see. With that, if we don't know if it's been delivered, I don't know if you're gonna obviously be able to do the tracking on it.
Okay, so this is the paper I'm going to hand you right here with this number on it. And this is in reflection to this number. I was told to keep a legal record of all this. There you go.
There you go.
Great. That's on mine. Excellent. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Paul.
Is it?
It's right on this side here, on this wall.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is the computer down?
No, hold on just one second.
Send it in express by any chance?
Oh, all right then. It's a good answer.
Aren't you hiding all those clothes? Yeah. Kind of bullshit.
Yeah, this was already delivered. Has already been delivered. Can you see the sheet?
What sheet?
The one you have.
I can show it to you from afar, but I will not hand it to you.
Well, I'm not asking you to hand it to me. I'm
Okay,
just
so
asking
then-
you to see it.
Okay, so it's saying it was delivered what day?
On the 9th.
On the 9th? Really? Because they called me today and said that they did not receive it at all. And we're talking about a federal agency is telling me they did not receive it. Oh, gotta see it this way for the number?
Yeah, it's fine.
Right back. I can give you something that you can show it out.
Okay, so if it was, now what do you mean by delivered? Do you mean that they actually signed for it? So if they actually signed for it and I don't get, when I go to my post office box and I don't get the return receipt for it, then it's,
Yeah, he's
then
going to
it's,
show you. He's going to tell.
All right,
he's
see
gonna
you
show
later.
what to do. All right, bye, dear.
is there any proof at your end that they signed for it?
Yeah, it's right here. It's showing
Where?
it
Where does it
There
say
was-
it? Can you show me where?
right there.
It says delivered, but it doesn't say they signed for it. Where's the signature?
There's a scan right here. And
Okay, so
he'll be able to get the record out.
Okay, great.
So you just want to wait for him over
Yeah,
here, and
sure,
then I'll
no
help
problem.
the next.
Let me get out of the way. So I can get a copy of all that, right?
Yeah, he's getting you something.
That's right.
I'll actually get you a signature for it.
Perfect.
Moving here over here.
Oh, okay, well, who's gonna, okay, so I need a copy of all that if I could, or? do I need-
That's a copy of the
That right
person who
there,
signed
that right
for
there
it.
is what I'd like to have. I gotta have,
You can take it, that's fine.
okay. So what's all that?
That's information that we have to keep. But yeah, it's,
Okay, can you just come here for 1 second? This right here, see, the problem I'm having is, this is not the only mail that I've had problem with. So, if you're stating that this information right here verifies that they picked it up, signed for it, and therefore received it, then that's obviously something that's a problem at their end. Because you can now legally prove that they picked it up, right?
Yeah, this information's right there.
Okay, so this is the person that signed for it? Can you see, does that say Sharon or Shannon?
Right here, this is Shannon.
Oh, okay, so
Looks
it's
like
Shannon
Shannon Barnett.
Barnett or Garrett? Barnett.
Yeah.
Okay, so does it show the address that it was mailed to? Arrival
Right-
here,
right
like
here.
Atlanta, Georgia?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Where at? I don't see
Yeah, I had got
PO.
these last time and I love.
All that says there.
Can I see your certified receipt again?
Yeah, sure. Because all that says there is, that's very hard to recognize.
It looks like Post Office Loop Road.
Loop Road?
Yeah. What does your receipt say?
It's like I see how many I have.
All right.
Yeah, I had to totally, completely change my schedule today because of this. It says PO Box 530210.
Which ones did you want?
So is Loop Road
Well,
where that post office
yeah,
box is located?
let me
at?
check, okay? I'll be right back.
Do you mind?
No, not at all.
I
Right
was
back.
like,
All right.
yours.
Yeah, I had those last year. Let me have these. Those are cute. Gingerbread.
You can track a money order, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
You need it.
Yes.
When are the Christmas stamps coming out?
I have the new ones, they just came out, but we're still waiting on the other one. There's another one that's coming out, but this one is the newest. And this was from last year.
Oh, this is a little
This one just regular first class mail.
Yes.
Did you have a tracking number on it or no?
No.
Excuse me.
That's it. Thank you. No. Thank you.
Thank you so missing. So you allow the tracking number to it?
It looks like the firm name that picked that up, it's called Bank of America Loop Road. So maybe,
Bank of America. So if they do transactions for, I could take this to the Bank of America right now and possibly find something out.
maybe, that might be like a different,
Is it possible to start tracking this?
it is, but that costs, I think it's like $6.
It costs $6 to track my
Yeah.
mail?
To do an inquiry on a money order, you have to pay.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. What do you guys got to do to track it?
Well, we submit it electronically and then they send you a letter. They send you a letter of a copy of the cash money order, or after 60 days they reissue you a new one if it hasn't been cashed.
Okay, so let me just try and make sense of this in my mind in order to try and see if I can save $6. This was obviously hand delivered, but what I've noticed here when you went to go check this, and I do appreciate you looking for me, this right here, it appears that it got taken to a location on a different zip code than what it was mailed to.
And so, if I have someone else.
Well,
Is it in the area, like in the zone?
it's possible because if you send a letter here to a PO box here, the tracking might say 92037, but our post office zip code is different. It's 92039.
So that's a logical explanation.
Yes, it's not uncommon for that to happen.
Okay, so, but if Bank of America picked this up and they cashed the money order or deposited it for whoever, okay, it'll prove who deposited it, which means they got receipt of it, correct? Once they cashed it, if they cashed it, that means it was gotten, and therefore, if they didn't pay the person on the money order, because the money order was made out to the Department of Education,
And they're saying they didn't get it.
they called me today. So why would a bank even pick this up? Because it was mailed to
You
them.
need to talk to them, to the Department of Education again and say, hey, I went to the post office, I got tracking information that said it was delivered on X date, and it's showing that it was picked up by Bank of America. Does Bank of America process your payments? And if they say yes, and then you go
Then
from
it
there.
might just be a billing backup or something.
That or the payment processing service that they're using made a mistake. It's hard to say.
So you'll hold.
Okay, but you can definitely find out
Yes, but
who
it
cashed this.
yes, but it costs $6 something, I think.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's not. it's not as simple as me going
See, now-
online and checking.
Right, now, even if which I don't, I used to bank with Bank of America, but Bank of America and me I owed them no money concerning anything.
Okay.
At any time.
Right.
So even if I did, them receiving this.
No, that shouldn't matter. I mean, you
Exactly.
you could owe them $50,000.
And
This
they-
is a whole
and-
different. It's a whole
exactly.
different business. Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay, so, I tell you what I'll do is, how long does it usually take for you guys to track a money order? To see
It takes about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah, it's a slow
All right,
process.
so what happens if this becomes a whole entire entangled issue?
After 30 days.
Bank of America is not supplying the records showing that they got it,
I want it to
even.
go.
Well, the bottom line is,
If it doesn't get credited to my account,
let me finish.
Okay.
If the money order isn't cashed in 60 days, you'll get a new one.
okay.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta hear.
Yeah.
And if whoever cashes it, they gotta tell me why they are the ones who cashed it,
They will-
outside of the student loan.
They won't tell you why, but they will give you a copy of the cashed money order. It's not going to tell you why they did it. It's just going to give you.
No, but what I'm saying is Bank of America would have to give me a legal excuse why they got my money.
Somebody would.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, this is like an education all in a box in one day. Alright, so so what I'll do is I'll call the Department of Education on Monday,
Yeah.
tell them what's going on, see if they are connected to Bank of America. And if they are, then I'll give them, now, how long do I got to report this?
Stop that because
Money order inquiry?
Yeah,
How long ago did you get it?
on the 6th of this month.
Oh no, you're fine. I don't think there is a limit. If there is, it's probably like 2 years or something.
Okay, good, because the point being is that, now what if this gets lost?
What is that?
These are the receipts for everything.
No, hang on to everything. That's
Exactly.
important.
Well,
Yeah.
you see, I'm kind of a victim of an ongoing crime, and I've been assaulted before, and I've even been robbed before because of it. So I keep this in very tight,
Did your father sing?
compartmentalization. But the point being is that I gotta walk around with this until the situation is rectified.
Blade in the nail.
So,
I got, Jerry Duke.
I guess what I'll do is I'll get a hold of Department of Education on Monday, find out if they know anything, and if I don't get adequate answers, I'll be back here next week and just go ahead and do so that takes 2 weeks?
Extra day.
Roughly.
I thought
Yeah.
that was very.
And if that shows Bank of America cashed it, what do
That
I,
way, but anyway, is this gonna get
I
to
don't know.
San Diego jury
you
by
would probably
Monday?
I have to deal with, I
show
can
it-
go right to Bank of America and say what's going on.
Well, if it shows that it's
No
cashed,
money, but it will be delivered then tomorrow.
I would probably
so they
take
won't
that
come
to
in.
the Department of
But if you don't
Education,
see me
but
within
right?
the next
Yeah.
year,
And say,
you'll
hey,
know where
this
I
is my cash money order. What's up?
Exactly.
And work
And why
from
would
there.
they get it anyway? Why would they even get this? Because it was mailed to these guys.
Yeah.
In fact, you guys are showing now on this return receipt, which was stamped. What was put on the envelope? This green thing right here, right?
Yes, and that should have come back to you, but it didn't.
Exactly. But I don't know if it has. I haven't been in my PO box in over a week and a half. So if that is not in my PO box, I can't prove that Bank of America signed for it.
And who you're sending.
Well, you have
Well,
this.
but
You have this.
right. But does this show that it was mailed to the Department of Education? Is the point I'm trying to make outside of my receipt?
Well, no, but you see, you have your receipt, and this coincides with your receipt.
Right, but the point being is that Bank of America could say that I mailed them a payment for something. When I don't owe them nothing. They're
Well,
not
see,
even
that's
my
the thing.
bank no more.
Now you're digging pretty deep.
Well, I gotta dig deep.
I understand, but
yeah.
we could come up with all kinds of scenarios like that. But you need to first of all, I would contact the Department of Education again and say, hey, does Bank of America process your payments? And if they say yes, then that's when I would say, hey, they said they got it. You know, what can we do? I mean,
Okay, so you're saying her name is Shannon L.
Barnett.
Barnett?
And most likely it's either an employee of that Bank of America or it's a courier that they hire.
Let's see. Somebody picked it up. That's all I know.
Yeah.
If I don't get a copy, now hold it. Wait a minute. Is she signed for that? She showed me an orange form. That orange thing right there.
That's a
Now,
notice that they leave in the box.
okay. So when they signed for that, she doesn't even get the green thing, does she? The person who picked it up.
Well, she should have.
No, because it's the post office that mails it back to me, right?
Yes, but the thing is, they signed for a lot of stuff that day. Probably, I don't know, hundreds of pieces of mail. And what the post office clerk would do would take all of these off,
They would take that off the envelope.
all of them, and
Right.
then have them waiting for them to sign. Or if it's a courier to stamp like that, they look like they just use a stamp.
Right.
Which is common with the couriers.
So then who mails this back to my P.O. box?
the
Is it
postal
you
service
guys?
just drops in the mail.
Right.
Oh yeah, the customer never gets that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then it would be the Postal Service's responsibility to make sure I get this back.
Correct. So if you didn't get it back, well, you said you haven't been to your PO box. So
Yeah, that's
if it's
probably
not there, it's
right.
probably there.
Yeah, it's probably there. Because I got when I paid it in September, no problems.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see what
the good thing though,
transpires.
the good thing though is that you have your receipt that you mailed it.
I don't like all these babies or
And
nothing.
you also have your receipt that of that money order.
Right.
So if they try to charge you any late fees or anything like that, say, hey, I sent it in. This is what I have.
Right.
Here's my proof. Can you at least waive the fees?
All right, so this is all I can get from you, showing who picked it up and signed for it
That's
and all
all I
that?
got.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
All right, I'll wait until Monday, give them a call, find out what they say, and then what I'll do is Tuesday I'll go to my P.O. box, okay? And then Wednesday, if it's not in my P.O. box on Tuesday, Wednesday I'll come back here.
Okay.
And I'm doing all this in the middle of moving.
It's never ending, huh?
You would not believe it.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot.
I'll be here, so let me know.
All right, what's your name?
Glenn.
Glenn?
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Glenn.
All right, you're welcome. Have a good weekend.
See you later.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry, the address isn't there. I can get it. Hi, how are you?